Hello everybody, welcome back to Matty Reacts, the channel where we take a look at things we never watched or listened to before. And today is the release date of Motel du Cap, which is the new Good Charlotte album. You'll see in a minute what I presume is the album art. Very nice, it looks like a little sketch, it's very cool. We did react to the first single from this album about a month ago now, I think, which was this really weird song that sort of fused Good Charlotte with weird surf disco rock. I can't even really remember. I remember that I thought it was weird, and it was something very different for them. And we spoke about how bands can't just do the same stuff forever, so that's absolutely fine. I'd like something maybe a little less out of the ordinary this time around. I think I have missed a single in the middle. I think it might be called Steppers or something. When I wasn't able to record. But this has obviously come out today because the album has, but also it's the one that they have been performing on chat shows over the past couple of days to sort of promote the release of the album. So it felt like a good one to pick up. So yeah, it's called I Don't Work Here Anymore. I'm presuming it's going to be about a job. But let's jump into it and see what we get out of it. Okay.
Growing up, I never dreamed of clocking in and clocking out. I feel like I'm being paid to lose my mind. I'm getting older, feeling colder, like my youth is almost over, and all my dreams are fading faster all the time.
The thing is, right, they never have had a job like that, have they? I'm pretty certain that they were like really young when Good Charlotte started as a band, so they pretty much went straight from education into Good Charlotte as far as I'm aware. So I don't feel like they ever have had a job where they've had to clock in and clock out, which I know they're a pop punk band, and it's really punk to stand up against the 9 to 5 corporations and things like that. But it does ring a little bit hollow when you know that they've never had that, and that's not a bad thing. I know you can write songs from perspectives you don't know about. That's not against the law. It's not it's not something that's never happened before. People do it all the time, but it's a very specific thing that they're picking up. It feels like I didn't want to clock in and then clock out. It feels like I've been picked to lose my mind, getting older, growing colder. It feels like you're leaving, your youth is almost over. I think, if anything, what they have managed to do for a living, which is great. I love their music. Some of their albums have been absolute soundtracks to my life. But I think they, more than anyone, have the ability to not grow up in the same way that everyone else has to. Because, to me, if you get to go out and play your music on the road, every year, that is a dream. That is living a dream. And it's not a job in the traditional sense. And you are doing what you feel like you were meant to do. Whereas me, I enjoy my job most of the time, but I never woke up and thought I would be what I am, like they would have done in terms of joining bands. So I don't know. Let's see if the song itself sounds really good though.
And all my dreams are fading faster all the time. All my life I've waited for a chance to chase this feeling. Don't tell me what to do. I don't wanna work for you. It don't pay enough, it ain't adding up. Yeah, life's too short. I'll never be like you. So keep your uniform. I don't make enough, I'm not acting tough, I'm just out the door. I don't work here anymore. Oh, I don't work here anymore.
Okay, that might explain it. it feels now that the work stuff is an analogy, and maybe that it's a relationship that they've been working at. And they're talking about, you know, keep your uniform, I don't work here anymore. And maybe it was a relationship where someone was trying to make them be a certain way, dress and behave how they wanted them to. It feels like it's less straightforward than just being about jobs after hearing that chorus. So let's see where we go from there and see if that feels right in the second half of the song.
Your blonde hair, those blue eyes were as crystal as the ocean, and I knew it. I could see you by my side. When you walked in, it was over. I felt sober for the first time. When you took my hand, my dreams were open wide.
Okay.
All my life I was praying for a chance to have this feeling. Don't tell me what to do. I don't wanna work for you.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. I don't want to work for you. Yeah, and obviously the second verse was talking about, you know, you've got blonde hair and blue eyes, and you walked in, and I felt sober for the first time in forever, and then it launches back into this. So I think I got it right the second time round, and that it isn't about, you know, working a job. It's about working for a relationship that isn't working out anymore. So I take back everything I said at the start of the video about them coming across as disingenuous or a little bit hollow when talking about a job, because I think, you know, it's quite clear now that they weren't talking about an actual job. And I think that works much better for what we know about them as people and as a band. I still think this song they've kind of gone a bit weird with some of the sort of rhymes don't quite make sense, and some of the sort of rhythms are a little bit stilted. But still, you know, they're still making really good music. And like I say, yeah, now I understand the meaning of the song a bit more. The song's great.
It don't pay enough, it ain't adding up, yeah, life's too short. I'll never be like you, so keep your uniform.
I'll never be like you. Don't want to be just like you. Do you think that was on purpose? I think it might have been.
I don't make enough, I'm not acting tough, I'm just out
Really like the drums in this song.
to work here anymore. I don't work
Feel really anthemic.
'cause I only ever dreamed about this. With every test, I tried my best not to fail. But they always make me doubt it. Not this time, this one's mine, I'm not for sale. Don't tell me what to do. I don't wanna work for you. It don't pay enough, it ain't adding up, yeah, life's too short. I'll never be like
That's the bit that that doesn't really make sense for me. Let's just start again.
they always make you fail. 'Cause I only ever dreamed about this. With every test, I tried my best not to fail.
That's fine.
But they always make me doubt it.
Okay.
Not this time, this one's mine, I'm not for sale. Don't
That's
tell
fine.
me what to do. I don't wanna work for you. It don't pay enough, it ain't adding up, yeah, life's too short.
The word short just doesn't fit right there. And I know, you know, in the earlier sections, it wasn't like an ABBA rhyme or anything like that. It was more like a AABBC, and I guess that's kind of what is happening here. But the word short just feels really out of place, even though it makes sense with what they're doing with the rest of the song. How odd.
Never be like you.
A,
So keep your uniform.
B,
Don't make enough, I'm not
C,
acting tough, I'm just out the door. I don't
B.
work here
Okay.
anymore. I don't work here anymore. I don't work here anymore.
Oh. Very good Charlotte Woah, that.
Oh,
Such good drums. This would sound good in like an arena. Really good strings as well. Yeah, I thought that was much better than the first one that I heard from this album. It felt new, but it still felt Good Charlotte. Whereas I felt the last song wasn't quite Good Charlotte for me. It was a good song, but it didn't feel like Good Charlotte. Whereas this feels like some of the stuff they put out on the earlier albums that was a bit more emotional. Yeah, I quite liked it. Like I say, once I understood what the song was talking about, I felt a lot more able to believe that they could write a song about that. And I think, you know, in this sort of area, this sort of genre, you kind of have you have to feel like you can believe what they're writing to buy into it, I think. And yeah, had it been a whole song about not wanting to work in a 9 to 5 with a uniform, I don't think I could have bought it. But sort of comparing that, you know, analogy wise to a relationship, absolutely works, you know. And yeah, relationships are similar to jobs in some ways, you know. You do have to work for them, but I think if you get to the point where your relationship feels so much like a job that you get to the point of what they're singing this song about, yeah, it's not good, is it? But yeah, I thought it was a really, really interesting song. I wish there was a video to go with it. I'm not much of a fan of watching a static screen when I react to these things, but I just thought I needed to do it now while strike while the iron's hot with the record coming out today, with the album coming out today. Jesus Christ, I'm an old man. And now I can go and listen to the album in peace, because I'm not going to react to anything else from it. I'm just going to go and listen to it. So yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you again for another reaction video very soon.